Tonight on Hotty Toddy News, severe weather hit the Deep South again yesterday. Find out how the storm impacted northern Mississippi. Lynching is officially a federal hate crime. We'll look at how the Oxford community is honoring lynching victims coming up. And wedding season is here. Find out how brides and businesses are being impacted by shortages. Hotty Toddy News starts now.
From the School of Journalism and New Media on the campus of the University of Mississippi, this is Hotty Toddy News.
Hello and welcome to Hotty Toddy News. I'm Terrigan Dixon. Yesterday's storm left some damage to the Oxford Lafayette County, from trees falling on houses to power lines being knocked out. However, only 30 miles away, Calhoun County experienced major destruction. Reporter Peyton Taylor went to check out the damage.
Mississippi braced for severe storms on Wednesday, and Calhoun County saw major damage. The storm left Highway 9 impassable from downed trees, and around 12 homes were damaged, and fallen trees caused power outages in nearly 350 households. Calhoun County Sheriff Greg Pollen says, however, it could have been much worse.
This community was very lucky that no one got hurt. There's a couple of those houses, I don't know how someone didn't.
One of the damaged areas was Lyntrap Baptist Church, which saw its front porch destroyed. Yet, church member Benny Bearfield says despite the damage, they are still planning to hold revival services next week.
We got carpenters coming tomorrow that's going to take the porch completely off the church. And then everything inside's fine. We're just going to carry on like nothing ever happened.
Officials have now confirmed that a tornado did pass through Calhoun County at around 4:30 p.m. on Wednesday, dealing damage to power lines, trees, and other buildings. But despite the threat to the surrounding public, Bearfield says that there was no shortage of volunteers to help clean up Calhoun County immediately after the storms passed through.
This is a small, very tight-knit little group, this whole area that we're in here at Banner. People are bringing food and drinks and water, and the community has really come together.
Sheriff Pollen says that he, along with the agencies involved with cleanup and repair, are hopeful that power will be restored to residents affected by the storms by tomorrow. For Hotty Toddy News, I'm Peyton Taylor.
Thanks, Peyton. There are at least 3 reported storm-related injuries across the state, and there will likely be more as officials continue to assess the storm damage. While fallen trees and other storm damage are blocking the roads in the area, the intersection of Park Drive and Molly Bar Road will close Monday for the next few weeks to complete the construction of roundabouts connecting the 2 roads. During a special meeting, representatives of M&N Construction asked the Board of Aldermen to close Park Drive to reduce overall construction time for about 2 months. Park Drive will remain open from 6th Avenue to Ridgewood Manor during the entire time of construction. President Joe Biden signed the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act, which makes lynching a federal hate crime. The bill was named in memoriam of lynching victim Emmett Till. Here at home, we are having our own memorial. Reporter Cameron Evans has more on the story.
The Oxford and Lafayette community will be honoring the Lynching Memorial located in downtown Oxford this Saturday. The memorial is dedicated to the 6 Lafayette County residents who were lynched between 1885 and 1935. Dr. Donald Cole discusses his feelings about the upcoming ceremony.
Very excited about it, and so is all of the other sort of board members, if you will, and other individuals who are sort of making this thing actually happen. It's a secular affair in terms of programming, but it's also a spiritual affair. This is an affair for which we are remembering and honoring some individuals that had been wronged.
The historical marker was approved in 2019, but since it would be placed on a historical site, the actual installation happened in 2021 with a scaled-down ceremony because of COVID prevention measures that were in place. This comes just 4 days after President Joe Biden officially signed the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act into law this past week.
But the law is not just about the past, it's about the present and our future as well.
This historic event will take place this Saturday at 2 p.m. on the east side of the courthouse in downtown Oxford. This is Cameron Evans with Hotty Toddy News.
You can find in-depth coverage of that event next week on Newswatch Ole Miss. The fighting in Ukraine is still ongoing. Amidst the violence, a journalist reporting in Ukraine took the time out to speak with some university students. Reporter Kennedy Cooper has a closer look.
Today on campus in Farley Hall, students had the opportunity to visit with Philip Idner, a freelance reporter currently stationed in Ukraine, to gain more insight about the Russia-Ukraine crisis.
Despite Russia's statement that they would be pulling away from certain frontline positions and refocusing on the eastern part of the country, we are seeing them actually keeping most of their military assets around the capital.
Philip Idner is a freelance journalist who is currently in Lviv, Ukraine. Idner spoke to the university students about the state of affairs in Europe, as well as experiences that drew him back to the country.
I was deeply affected by what happened to me on Maidan Square when I had some Ukrainian women pleading with me and begging me not to let Ukraine be forgotten. And I promised these two women who I don't know and will probably never see again in my life, but I promised, and I felt that I was promising the entire nation.
Idner spoke to students such as Hayden Wiggs, who hopes to become an international journalist after graduation. Wiggs believes Idner's style of journalism is more important than ever.
I think it's important that we go over there and report on these types of things. He clearly cares a lot about Ukraine, and you can tell. And we need more of those types of journalists who actually care.
Idner plans to move closer to the conflict zone, but only for a short period of time. For Hotty Toddy News, I'm Kennedy.
In statewide news, today, Governor Tate Reeves signed House Bill 530, authorizing the largest pay raise in a generation for Mississippi public school teachers. Among the lowest paid in the nation, Mississippi teachers are making about $8,000 less than the regional average. They will receive an average increase of over $5,000, which is more than a 10% jump over their current pay. Starting pay for teachers in the state will increase to $41,500. That's $4,500 more than it is right now. Reeves and lawmakers are hoping the salary boost will help attract and retain teachers. The bill goes into effect on July 1st. It's wedding season. This year, there are more brides-to-be than ever, causing shortages and delays with items like bridesmaids' dresses. The majority of brides-to-be that got engaged during the height of COVID postponed their wedding to 2022, on top of couples who originally planned to get married this year. Our very own reporter, Anna Kate Boyd, who is planning a wedding of her own, has a closer look at this year's hectic wedding season.
Thanks, Tarrigan. I'm here at Castle Hill, where many brides will walk down these exact same steps within the next few months. Wedding coordinator Emily Burton says that many brides are experiencing dress delays, booked venues, and even printing invitation companies are backed up anywhere between 3 to 4 months. Burton says this is causing a lot of stress.
I've seen brides sitting in my office upset, crying, trying to figure out wedding vendors, how having to move their vendors to their new date. That can be very stressful.
Experts are expecting this to be one of the biggest wedding seasons, with an estimate of 2.5 million weddings due to 2020 and 2021 brides bumping up their wedding date. Burton says that Castle Hill, which is a popular family-owned venue in Oxford, are experiencing food shortages due to back-to-back weddings almost every weekend, and there is also tuxedo shortage due to prom season approaching.
Everybody halted their proms, a couple years, and so now everybody's back on doing prom season, so I've had trouble getting tuxes here. I've had to substitute different tuxedos for another tuxedo that the bride might not have chosen.
Bridesmaid dresses are hard to come by as well. Some are out of stock or delayed in shipping. Caroline Cray, who is getting married this upcoming June, has experienced this firsthand.
I have 4 bridesmaids, and 2 of them just ordered their dresses on Sunday. And so I'm interested to see how the delayed shipping times affect that, because they've ordered it off of a website and it has to be shipped, and then they have to get it altered. So I'm a little worried about that.
Cray is also experiencing lack of communication with vendors, and she's concerned that Ole Miss baseball will be playing regionals the same day as her wedding.
Which is gonna basically just overload the city when we're trying to have all these out-of-town people come in. And so just navigating how that works has been kind of frustrating.
With all the wedding planning stress, Cray is just ready for her honeymoon.
We won't have cell signal, and no one can bother me or email me.
Wedding season is back in full swing this summer, and despite all the crazy planning, wedding coordinators, vendors, and local shops are doing all they can to make the bride's day special. Anna Kate Boyd, Hotty Toddy News.
The annual Big Event will kick off this Saturday. The largest day of community service in the state, volunteers will work on service projects across about 30 locations in Oxford, Lafayette County. This year, in-person activities have expanded, providing more opportunities for about 1,500 volunteers. Partnering with places such as Lafayette County Schools, the Boys and Girls Club, and local churches, big event coordinators hope the project will strengthen relationships with the LOU community. If you want to join the project, log into your My Ole Miss account, scroll down to the Get Involved window, and click Big Event Volunteer Registration. That's all for this week. You can find all of our shows and the latest news on the Oxford Lafayette community on HottyToddy.com. For Hotty Toddy News, I'm Terrigan Dixon. Thank you and good night.